Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? It's Craft Along. It's the time where we have a show and we craft with something at your speed. Well, hopefully your speed. But the great thing about a Craft Along is when we're crafting, we do it from start to finish. So literally from making our card blank to making the whole project and getting through to the end. Fingers crossed with time allowing. But I think I've done a project where it will take us right through the hour, which will be really good. And the great thing is if I do go a little bit fast or you want a recap on anything, I mean, you just have to put in the comments. We've got our Rachel in this morning who's on socials, and if you're on Facebook or YouTube, just write in the comments or ask a question, or if you want to see something again or you want to know that measurement or size, then just ask away and we will do that in live time. Obviously, if you're watching us back and it's you've already sort of pre-recorded or you've gone back to watch the show to craft along with, you obviously can't do that in real time, but at least you can pause me, which is not a bad thing. You can turn me down as well, and you can craft along in your own leisure. So today is all about, well, it is all about the Western collection, but when I was doing the Western collection, I was saying how good I think the Ric-Rac dies would work with the Western collection. So that's exactly what I've done here. So this is the card we're going to be making. I love this border die, the Ric-Rac dies, and I just thought they looked really cool together with the boots and the, what are they called? Got out of my head. Horseshoes. Can't think what they were called. And the horseshoes. So we're going to be making that card. Now, we've got Jamie in my ear today. So not Sam. I haven't got Sam in me. I've got Jamie on me here saying hello. We've got Rachel on socials. So we're nearly ready to start. But what we do need is a shopping list. So these are what the things that you're going to need to get this project started. There's not much in this collection that we need, but what you will need is the Western collection, the 12 by 12 paper pad, the A4 linen card, and the Wild West dies. We also need the Ric-Rac Waves dies, the square nesting, set of square nesting dies. We're only using one of the dies in there. Some white cardstock, some craft cardstock, and I'm also using the Bordeaux quick drying ink pad. Some additional items we're going to need is the Gemini, obviously die cutting machine, a scoreboard, a guillotine, a stamping platform, your all-purpose glue, and your Dotty tape pen. And then we're all ready to get going. So let's see if there's any of you joining us already this morning. Just a few of you up this morning, which is Rachel. Rachel sent across Trudy. Trudy's in saying morning from Central Florida. How is it today, Trudy, in Florida? It's probably quite humid, isn't it, at the moment? Louise is saying good morning, everyone. Good morning, Louise. And Stephen Nichols is in saying morning, Debbie. Finally got the country and Western in my basket, ready for 4 p.m. Absolutely. Amazing. I absolutely love that. So morning, Stephen, to you as well. Right, shall we get started on our card? So, oh, and the other thing I hadn't put in, and I do apologise, and that is the Rootin' Tootin'. Oh, I'll put it this way so you can see it. The Rootin' Tootin' clear stamp set. I've used this one for our stamp set, but obviously if you've got a different stamp set that you want to put on there, you can absolutely use that. But these are the two die sets that I'm using, and the Ric-Racs is this one here. So they're the three things you need. If you wanted to use something different, like your different Ric-Racs, maybe the zigzag ones, you could absolutely use those. So pop them to the side, and then we're going to start with our cards. I'm going to pop my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. We're going to bring in our scoreboard to start with. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make a card base that's 5 by 7. So nice and simple, whatever size your cardstock is. So if you're in in America, your US card size, or your UK, you've got your A4. I'm just going to do this to 5 inches. So we're going to score to 5 inches. That already gives me my card blank. So nice and simple. And then we're going to fold that one, and we're going to trim that to 5 by 7. So just nice crisp edge. I love that about our cardstock because it does have that really nice crisp edge. Then we're going to have, as Jamie just said, a professional look. And then I did have to laugh. Jamie was saying to me this morning that he's given me permission to tell him to stop talking if he talks too much. I love that. So just if, in case I say, shut up, Jamie, live on air, you'll know that it's just because it probably won't, yes, he's right, he probably won't listen to me, absolutely not. So I'm just, as I'm talking, I thought, did I? Yes, I did. So we've got a 7-inch. I thought I'd cut that a bit short then, Jamie. I could have blamed you, couldn't I, if I'd cut that short. Right, so now we've got our 5x7 card blank. So next thing we're going to do is our mats and layers. So let's bring those ones in. So I'm going to bring in some craft card and we're going to cut that one. So 5 inches is my card, so I'm going to take that down 1 increment. So we're going to do 4 3/4 of an inch, and then we're going to do 6 3/4 of an inch. And that's going to give me my perfect mat and layer for my card, like so. Then we're going to bring in some white cardstock. So let me just grab a piece of white. And we're going to come in another little bit. Now, this time, I only want a really small border around the edges. So where it says, so where I've done sort of a 5-inch card, then we've gone down 1, I'm just going to go a little bit over the 4.5, just so that gives me a little bit of a thinner borderline. And we're going to do the same. So instead of 6.5, I'm going to go just slightly over. And that way it's going to give me just a smaller border. So when I pop that on, you can see we've got quite a tiny border all the way around there. And that's going to go onto our card. So that's our base mat and layer. So let's pop that down. Now the next thing I want to do, now I've just took from home my square nesting die. This one is the stitch edge one. You could just use an ordinary one, and this one it's about 3 1/4 inch square. So if you haven't got a nesting die, you could cut just a square piece of card that's 3 1/4 inch square, and that would do the same job. So we're just I'm gonna cut a piece of card off here, like so, and we're just gonna die cut that one out. Pop those pieces to the side. And there we go. I've started really quickly this morning. I've not shown you any samples, so we will do that as we go along. So, yeah, exactly, Jamie. Everyone wants to see the demo. So how is everyone today? What is it, Tuesday morning? We've got an exciting day on Crafters TV today because we have third party today, what we class as third party. It's our craft house, and today we've got a really exciting one with Katie Sue, which is brand new to us here at Crafters TV. And Katie Sue is an amazing company. And for anyone that doesn't know, they started off with porcelain dolls. And then went on to cake making, cake designs, like cake moulds, to make all the different moulds that you can decorate cakes with. So yeah, really cool. And now they've gone into paper crafting as well. So the paper crafting section is amazing. So it's all decoupage and 3D elements. So you're going to absolutely love that. So we're going to do a bit in Wake Up Call, and then we've got the craft house at 2 o'clock. Right, but this morning is all about the Western. So I'm going to let everybody just catch up on that part, and then I'm just going to see who else is in with us this morning. So we've got Karen in. Karen Cronin is saying good morning, everyone. Good morning, Karen. Sandra Evans is in saying good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sandra. And she's also saying she's really looking forward to seeing the demos on this. And she's got a little emoji with a Western hat. I didn't even know you could get an emoji with a Western hat. Where did that come from? I love that. What I am going to show you, though, is some samples, because I really wanted to show you some samples at the beginning. Because they are absolutely stunning. There's some really cool things that you can do with this collection. So let's show you some of those, and then we'll carry on just while we let everyone catch up with them making their cards. Love this one. I love the embossing folder that you can see in the background here. The background is beautiful. So it's like the design, the floral design that you get on the cowboy shirts, which is fabulous. I also love this. Now this one is a creator card that actually, it's got the saloon doors that cut directly into the front of your card. So it's like a creator card. And then we've got the hat. So you've got the Stetson in there as well. And the papers are amazing, absolutely amazing. But we've also Oh, how nice does that look? I think, is that one of our creator cards, cutting all those pieces out? It looks amazing. And then if I just move this, yeah, the patchwork dies, look at that. It's got the foil transfers on there, so which are incredible. Some more foil transfers in the background there, so you can see really, oh, shiny. And then that, I love that one. It's definitely like a hen do card. Yes, Jamie, absolutely like that. And I love this one. Look at this. Oh, wrong way round. It's got, look, Leanne's in there, wanted. I mean, how absolutely cool is that? I love that. That's just brilliant. Another card here where you've got the boots and the steps. So we're going to be using those boots. So I absolutely love that one. And then another one here where you can see the on the top there, blaze your own trowel. I love that one. I think that's absolutely brilliant. So really cool designs. Right, hopefully you've all caught up on making the actual card, getting all the pieces together, and now we're going to do some die cutting. So I've got different strips here. If I just bring all this in, so let's just, we want some craft card, we want some passo. I'm using one of the papers, which is this one. I'm going to use that one to cut into, and I'm also going to use the red and the brown. So we've got these 4 different patterns that we're going to be using to die cut our designs. So if I just bring in the Ric Rac dies like so. So I've gone quiet because I'm looking for something. I think, oh, Taylor, I'm just going to say where they are, so I'm just going to bring them out for you. Sorry, I was just looking for something for our tailor that's just come to see what packs I had this morning. That's for our Katie Sue that we've got on this afternoon. So we're going to be doing multiples of these dies. So let's bring in my bigger plates, like so. And let's start cutting some of these out. So I'm going to just place that one on. So this takes just that little bit of time because it's just a case of running these through. If you've got a Gemini Mini, so even our smaller machines, you can use these dies. It just means when you put them through, you just turn them around and then cut the opposite side out, because obviously our plates are only 6 inches long and these dies are a lot longer than that. In fact, I don't even know what these dies are. Let me just have a look. They're actually just under 8 1/4 inch. So I would say 8-inch dies. Yes, a nice big dies. And this is what we want. So look at that, this beautiful pattern that you're getting on there. So we're going to do a couple of those, run those through. So actually it could, Jamie, you're absolutely right. And I'm going to just place that one underneath because even though that's cardstock and this is paper, it will cut 2 pieces in one go. So let's do that one. So let's place that one through like so. It's because we've got the Gemini. The Gemini has such good pressure that enables you to cut through a couple of layers in one go. There we go. So that's because we've got the paper and the cardstock, but I am just going to, we just need one more of the brown. What's nice about this die, I love this one, it is one of my favourites. If you can make a really cool stencil as well with it, so if you put lots of them in one go, it will stay in and create these sort of waves on your page, and then you can use that as a stencil. Lots of different things that you can be doing. How many of you have the Western collection? Let me know if you have it or you're sort of on the fence, not sure whether to order it or not, because it is a really good one. And is anyone, as Jamie just said, is anybody crafting along? That will fit down there, won't it? We need 2 each of those, so I'm just going to trim those ones. So if you are crafting along, then make sure you send it in, because Jamie has just kindly put the email below, so studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, and it means that you might get into Friday night faves as well. So because we will be doing, oh, I've got a piece of paper under there. We will be doing the Friday night faves on Friday Night Live, which I'm quite looking forward to this week. It'll be a nice Friday night. Friday Night Live. It's always, I don't know what it is. Is it still your favourite show, Jamie? Jamie says yes, it's still his favourite show. So I love Friday Night Live. It's a good show. It's a very fun show to wrap up the week. Yes, absolutely. So we've got 2 of those ones. Oh, there we go. And I'll just take those apart. So we've got 2 of them. And then we're just going to repeat that one, pop that together, and then die cut those out. And obviously if you've got the Gemini midi, that will fit through those ones as well. So again, offer that into the machine. And that's die cut all our pieces out. So they're going to go through, and then we're going to create that really beautiful wavy pattern. Although we're getting through this very, very quickly, I think maybe we'll have a break in between to let everybody catch up. So let's pop those to the side. And then there we go. So what can we chat about today, Jamie? Pick a subject. Let's chat about. Oh, do you know what? I think we can also chat about Western films. Do you like Western films, Jamie? Cowboy films. Ah, okay. So Jamie said he grew up, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Yes, great film, that one. Grew up watching them with his granddad. Yeah, like a good Western. I love, do you know who John Wayne is? Yes. So used to always watch John Wayne films. Yeah, so let us know if you like your cowboy films and what films you like. Yeah, rootin' tootin'. Karen is in saying, oh, let me go back because we've missed some. So Polly's in this morning saying hello from Florida. Karen is in saying good morning from Virginia. Laurie's in saying morning to her crafty friends. Morning, Laurie. Carletta is in this morning saying good morning to everyone. And Alexandra is saying saying morning, Debbie, and all from a warm West Midlands. Grandson Elliot is playing, so I'm taking the opportunity to watch. Oh, how old is Elliot? So let us know his age. And Pauline is saying good morning, Debbie, and the crew from Chester. And Alexandra is saying, I do have this collection but can't craft along as I'm not at home yet. That's not a problem at all. So who was, so Rachel's saying, give her a hug from me when you next see her. I'm missing you all terribly. So, oh, Taylor popped into the studio. Yes, I bet you are. So Rach come up, so I don't know if anybody knows, but Rach come up to the studios. I got her on air, yeah, of course you know, she was on air, and to meet everyone, and she was a massive help when we went to the pop-up shop, and she went to Taylor's in the evening, and they went out for a meal, so I know that she would really help her, and our Jamie is saying Rachel helps her every day when he's on air. I just need to get a sip of water. Got a croaky throat. Oh, okay, so Jamie's just informed me that it's National Eat Your Veg Day today. I mean, in the US, maybe not in the world, but in the US. So what's your favourite vegetable? Yes, what is your favourite vegetable? What's yours, Jamie? A cucumber. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's a weird one because it's classed as salad, isn't it? So is that classed as a fruit, a cucumber? Okay, yeah, anything with seeds in the inside, yes, classed as a fruit. Yeah, a bit like a tomato, isn't it? It's classed as a fruit. But I sort of class them as vegetables, salad and fruit. So, yeah, salads. Stephen's saying Magnificent Seven is his... oh, look, we've started something now with the films. Magnificent Seven is a brilliant film. Alexandra is saying, I watched all the old Western shows. High Chaparral, Chaparral, isn't it? High Chaparral? High Chaparral. High Chaparral, I think it's called, yeah. Lancer, not heard of that. Alias, Smith and Jones. Yeah, I've not heard of those ones. And Elliot said to tell you that he's 4, Debbie, and he'll be 5 at Halloween. Wow, you're a big boy, Elliot. Hi, Elliot. I love that. So Halloween, that's on the 31st, isn't it? So my daughter was born on the 1st of November. She was due on firework night, so on the 5th, but she actually was the 1st. And Jamie in my ear, he was born on the 7th, yes. My favourite vegetable, so switching back to that one, is, I would say probably broccoli and spinach. I love broccoli and I love spinach. I absolutely love spinach. So I don't really have broccoli cheese. Jamie's asking about broccoli cheese. I like cauliflower cheese. It's different. A cheese sauce is different to eating cheese. So yeah, and someone else said about broccoli cheese. I don't know whether I like cauliflower cheese. I love cauliflower cheese, especially with a roast dinner. But yeah, broccoli cheese, not quite sure on that one. And Alexandra is saying my 13-year-old shares birthday with Jamie as well. So that must be on the 7th. So amazing. And Rachel's my 13-year-old shares a birthday with Jamie. I'll never forget his birthday now. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you go, Jamie. Lots of sharers of birthdays. Right, let's get on with our craft along. So we've got our pieces here. So we've got our top piece here. Made that a little bit dirty there for some reason, but I can hide that with my strips. And then we've got our bottom section. So what I am going to do is grab myself, and let me use this piece of card as I've been cutting on it. And we're just going to use our dotty tape pen. It's the best thing that you can use to affix these with. So I'm going to start off with my craft card, and we're literally just going to go all the way around onto these pieces to start affixing them in. There we go. So all the way around to the bottom, just making sure that is all fully covered. And then that will just go along the bottom like so. So we're going to, now the best way to start this is to start along the bottom so it's touching the bottom of your card. And then that way you know that that's perfectly, your first one is perfectly lined up. So you see all the little sort of hills and, what would you call them? Valleys, yes, mountain and valleys are touching all the way along there. So when I put my nail across there, it's completely smooth still because they're all just going along there. And we're going to continue that. I'm going to pop my pattern one across now. And let's just, yeah, the dotty on the back is a lovely pattern as well. You could use that one. Choice is yours, and in fact you have a whole paper pad. We haven't even looked at the paper pad. You'll find, so anyone that is joining us that hasn't got the Western collection, you will find the complete Western collection is on the website. So with this one we're just going to go in, and I'm leaving a very slight border all the way across there like so. And can you see we've gone slightly the opposite way? So I'm just rubbing away any little glue dots. There we go. So we've gone, oh no, I'm going, sorry, the same way. So we've literally popped each of the lower bits, the valleys, into the bottom piece. Can't find my words today. And only Tuesday, yes. It's only Tuesday, yes. It feels like it's going to be a quick week, but now it's only Tuesday. It's Jamie's Monday because he doesn't work on a... Oh, it is Crafterganza this week, Jamie. You're absolutely right. So so Jamie is doing the video in for Sunday. That's cool. Liam's on Saturday and Jamie's on Sunday. That's going to be so much fun. Yeah, absolutely. For some reason, I actually thought it was going to be at Sarah's house, but it's not Sarah's house, is it? It's actually in the studio. I think because when they were talking, they were saying that Sarah was going to have her pyjamas on. They're going to have a sleepover. But I think what she meant was that although they're going to put their pyjamas on, I think, in the studio because it's going to be late, they are actually, Leanne is having a sleepover at Sarah's house. So they're ready to start again the next day. So that's where I thought it was going to be filmed, at Sarah's house. So another one here. And again, just leaving a very slight gap. Just going along like so. Give that a rub just to get rid of any little glue pieces that are around the edges. And then what we're going to do is turn that over, and we are just going to burnish them all down. And that will just make sure that none of those will lift from your card. And then take your scissors, and we're just going to trim those down. So just along. I mean, you can, if you wanted to, you could use your guillotine, but we're just going to trim that one. Oh, stuck on the edge there. Trim those, and just a couple of little notches there. And there we go, that's our first piece done. Looks really effective when you layer these up like this. You can put them together as well if you wanted to, but I quite like leaving that gap. I don't know why they remind me quite of a sort of rodeo. Maybe it's the lassos, you know, with the lasso, where you've got the lasso and you sort of, you know, you whip it and it sort of crinkles. I think maybe that's what it is, because I can't think. Yeah, well, that was a good, I can't even do. Seamus was very good. Mine's not very good. We do need a sound effect for that. Yeah, absolutely. Elliot is waving to you. His big sister was born on the 5th of November. Oh, that's lovely. Yes, my Poppy was due on the 5th, but came on the 1st, so she came early, which was nice. Right, the next thing we're going to do is do exactly the same, but this time we're going to do it onto this part here. So I'm going to turn this round. Because I've got a little dirty mark there, I'm going to turn it round so this will be the top of my card, because I'll be able to hide that with these pieces. So I'm going to use this one to start with. So let's just pop that on. And I don't need all of this, so I just need it to be onto part of my card, because obviously it's smaller. Oh, I've done the wrong one. I don't know why I did that one. I want the craft card. So let's use the craft card one. So I'm doing it in the order that I've already popped them down on. So onto here. So again, just at the side and right to the bottom. Right, so give that a little rub. That will get any tiny little glue pieces off. And then this one here. Done that the wrong way. That's why I went wrong before, because can you see, like, this one is the opposite way to that one, but it just means I move it across to get that onto there. And make sure, because we want to leave enough gap to put a sentiment down on there as well. And we can still put our sentiment down, because if you wanted to, you could do your sentiment first, but then you don't know exactly what your gap is going to be. So I always think it's good to put this one down, and then you know exactly where your gap's going to be to put your sentiment in. And this one. Jamie didn't sleep very well last night, so he's yawning away. Quite all right, Jamie? At least you're not on air, you're just in my ear. There we go. And then the last one. And actually, you could then, if you wanted to remake this card, use these pieces to do another one. So you could do a twofer while you're doing it. And you've got extra pieces to do another card with. So last one there. It's a good effect, isn't it? It just looks really, really nice to be able to put all these different colours. And I love the fact that you're getting your linen cardstock. So I've used the linen cardstock from the Western collection. But this, you know what I love about craft alongs is the fact that you can make these designs and do it with whatever collection you've got in. The Rick Racks are going to work with anything that you've got in your stash. They're going to work with any collection. So they're all going to look really cool. And then just up the top there, little knob there. Right, so just make sure I've got all my little sticky bits off my scissors. Don't want to leave those clogged up. Right, so yes, Jamie, I think that would be a really good idea. So we've got our two pieces now. So we've got some stamping to do, we've got our boot to make, and we've got our horseshoes. The name of those doesn't come to my head, the horseshoes to do, but I think we'll just let everyone catch up for the time being. We'll have a little break just for you to catch up, but don't go away, we'll be right back.
What I love most about Crafters TV is the community. I feel like I'm crafting along with my friends. And there's so much support, respect, and inspiration all through the socials. Be it on CTV, Facebook, or YouTube, everyone is so supportive and I've learned so much. Most of all is the good times and lots of laughs, which have gotten me through some tough days. So lots of love, my crafty friends, and to the CC team. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
A few weeks ago on the show, we were talking about places where all you guys lived. Well, We might have used Google Earth just to have a bit of a sneaky look at the village, town, or city that you lived in. And I thought it might be quite funny if I wrote a little ditty and I put on my Facebook page, where do y'all live? And I'll put your towns and cities and village into my little song. But I didn't realize that there would be about 425 responses, so I'm gonna cram as many places into this song as I can, but I won't get them all in. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. We craft in Lydney, Lynbrook, Launceston, Lehana, Tampa, Darlington, Almond Beach, Sedalia, Wills Point, Widnes, Wildwood, Wildham, Chautauqua Lake, Walkerburn, Yate, Bay, Hesperia, Sublimity, Pinhole, Avon, Freeport, Mableton, San Jose, Enumclaw, Great Bend, Detroit, Keniston. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. Craft in Parachute, Paradise, Palos, Papillion, Sheepshead Bay, St. Petersburg, Seacon, Sutton, Saturday, Bristol, Brighton, Brooklyn, Blackwood, Barnsley, Tide Squeeze, South Shields, Temple Hills and Bentley, Campbell, Tucum, Cary, Ottawa, Hull, Harrisburg, Lexington, Tupelo, Cincinnati, Austinburg. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. Craft in Loxahatchee, Lakesville, Lawrence, Lacey, Livermore, Albuquerque, Weeki, Washi, Pensacola, Ellsmere Park, Mechanicsburg, Williamsburg, Rebella, Houston, Burlington, Wet Wang, Market, Drayton, Yale, Memphis, Wellington, Wapakoneta, Homer, Sassa, Santa Rosa, Wichita, Honolulu, Riverdale, Melbourne, Commerce, Spinton. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. Crafting Newton Abbey, Richmond, Dudley, Georgetown, East Kilbride, Eugene, Ferrum, Round, Walkerstown, Newarheim, Fort Wayne, Gloucester, Chester, Long Beach, Raphael, St. Dominic, St. Cloud, St. Augustine Beach, Sand Springs, Romford, Tulsa, Traverse City, Wesley Chapel, Ballarat, Medina, Rampo City. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. Craft in Sawbrook, Tucson, Kissimmee, Philadelphia, Chicago, Las Vegas, Biloxi, Latte, Elmira, Glendale, Scottsdale, Anchorage, and Hurtville, Seattle, Gold Canyon, Ipswich, Cumberland, Unionville, Toledo, Miami, Atlanta, Cleveland, Gold Canyon, Altoona, Calounda, Port Orange, Glover, Rising Sun. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. And there's a few more places I didn't manage to get into the song. West Runton, Newcastle, Kingswood, Sandbach, Carlisle, Bewley, Albury, Durham, Springfield, Ashington. We craft in Greenville, Lincoln, Nebraska, Sumter, Oak Park, Winchester, Knapp Hill, Stoke-on-Trent, Mount Pocono, Greenville, Charlotte, Oxon Hill, Tunbridge Wells, Modesto, Haverhill, Sierra Vista, Arecibo, Morgantown, O'Fallon, Aurora, Black Forest. We craft in Hermiston, Brownsburg, Henderson, Socorro, Fort Myers, Mandenholm, Hilliard, Farmingdale, East Moline, Summers Point, Calgary, Charleston, Salisbury, Malden, Galloway, Fitchburg, Hopewell, Aberdeen, Winstead, Castlewood, Chatsworth, Limestone, Victoria, Willoughby, Rockland, Canton, Falmouth, Conestoga, Lyndhurst, Ashbourne, and Cluj-Napoca. Oh yeah.
We definitely craft everywhere, don't we? That's for sure. I know lots of you love that one. Stephanie's in saying, good morning, Debbie. Happy to be awake to watch. And Stephen is saying he's watching The Boss on BBC. Yes, apparently she's teaching you all how to make your own beach bag, which is amazing. And Julia is saying hello from sunny Exmouth as well. So thank you for all joining us this morning. We're in the middle of our craft along. So I'm just going to recap exactly what we've done for anyone that's just joined us. So we've made our our card blank, and all I've done is use my A4 piece card, scored it at 5 inches, folded it and trimmed it to 5 inches by 7 inches, and then we've just gone an increment smaller with each one of our cards. We've got our craft card, white cardstock, and then I've used my 3 1/4 inch nesting die with a stitched edge just to do a topper, and then we've used the rickrack dies, the waves, this middle section one, to create all our borders out of the pattern cardstock and craft card and the linen cardstock as well, which all sort of ties in. So we're going to be using our card like this. This one will have a sentiment which we're going to stamp on top of there, but for now we want to actually make the boots. So I'm going to bring in this collection here. And this is our Wild West cutting dies. So we're going to be using our horseshoe. Just going to take out a little bit there, and we're also going to be using the boot as well. Now if you wanted to, you could add the hat in, but we're just going to be using these on the craft along. So the boot is brilliant because there's so many different variations that you can do this with. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut out 2 of these. So we're going to cut our first one here, and we're just going to run that one through. Now while that's running through, I'm going to also, pop that way, I'm going to also cut it out in red, but I'm just going to use this one and then we can use the die afterwards. So let's just place that on there and then run that through. So we're going to cut it out in a few different colours and start to sort of snip in and do a different coloured boot, just so it doesn't look flat and all one colour. If you wanted to just cut it out white cardstock, you can, but if you want to use it like this, you absolutely can as well. So we are going to use that as our main base, so that will be the bottom part of our card. But then I want to also, I'm going to place this on like so. We don't need that on actually, I'm going to take that off, should I say. And then we're going to place that around the edge. And I am just going to pop a little piece of card on there as well. So just like so, making sure that we've got that all the way around and the same amount of gap as well. There we go. So just that one onto there. And then I also want to, we want to cut out another one which is in craft card. And we want to also, I'm going to take all the pieces out of here. They don't release as easy on this one, so you might just have to use your poker tool just to take those little pieces out, because we want to die cut it again. So just using your poker tool to take them out. Nearly there. A few more bits at the bottom. And the easiest way, put it over some white cardstock and then you can see exactly where you've still got some little bits showing. Oh, still got that one there. There we go. So we'll just pop that on there and then run those ones through. So that's going to cut our red boots, and we've got our base layer. And let me just clear up all my little pieces. And then we're going to do the same thing. So with that one, we're going to place that one over the top. And again, pop that down. But look how fabulous that boot is. I absolutely love it. So if you just want to place that over the top, like so, then that looks really good. But we're going to do a little bit more to that as well. So let's just, and you could actually use your Gemini Mini to cut these dies out. Just making sure there's nothing there. I'm going to just rotate my plates and then just place that one over the top there. And again, just making sure that we've got the same amount of edge all the way around. Pop that on there and then run that one through. Like so. And then all I've got left to do is I do want to cut another of the brown boot out. So we are just going to cut one of those out as well. So again, just taking the little pieces out. So no, Jamie, it wouldn't. It's too intricate, this one. And it does seem to hold the pieces in place as well, so it'd be really tough to cut through those. Even if you cut it a few times, it might eventually go through, but you might as well just run them through a couple of times. So just one more piece there. And then let's just poke those little pieces through. So just since I've had a die where I've had to actually push the pieces out. Most dies are quite good at releasing these days, but I think because it is such an intricate die, it keeps those pieces held in there. So that's those ones done. And then all I want to do is to die cut another one of those out. And we will, and I only want this because I want the heel of this one, and it's harder to find the heel without putting both dies through. So, it's still on there, isn't it? There we go, so that's given us that one. So we've got our 3 here, and then I'm going to do one more, and we can put both through at the same time this time because it's our last one. So pop the boot on and pop those in. And then what I will do this time is just put a little bit of tape in 2 places to hold this in place. Otherwise, if your die slips, it won't harm your die, but it will put a dent in it and overlap. So we are just going to make sure that we put that on there, and we've got enough tape on both sides, like so. Then I know that won't move when it goes through the machine. So just a case, again, run that last one through. So it takes a little bit of time. And the great thing though about doing ones like this, your leftover pieces you can make another boot with. So if you wanted a pair of boots on here, you could absolutely do that. So that's our last one. So we're going to do a little bit of snipping now. So I'll take those ones and we're going to do snipping into here. So I'm going to actually just grab my little snips if there are any. Probably not. Oh, they've all disappeared. Never mind, we've got bigger snips. So all I want to do is I want this bottom piece. So I am just going to round that around the toe like so. It'd be easier if we had smaller scissors, but it's fine. We can still do that. Going to come there, and then I'm just going to round that. Just turn in the scissors and round that off. So that's giving me the heel, because heels don't generally tend to be the same colour as your boot. And then I also, now I want my red, so my red will go on here, but I want the bottom piece to be a different colour. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to trim this to the first little nodule. So that first piece there, can you see there's like 2 gaps? We're going to take that first one off, and again right into there, and then on this side again I'm just rounding it very slightly like so. Yes, so you could make clogs out of these. Look at that. So you've got all different sorts of shoes. So this one we're actually going to pop onto here. So that will give us our heel onto that one. And then this one we're going to trim as well, because we don't need all the bulk of this, because we're going to have 2. And I also forgot I need to cut another red one as well, which we just want the outside cutting edge. So I am going to just trim that one. And in fact, I do have my Gemini at hand. Just need an actual thingy one. Right, let's just run that through. So I'm laughing because Johnny's just told me a joke, but I'm not sure if I can tell that on air, can I? So, oh, okay, Ben said it on air already. So Johnny has just said he used to date a Dutch lady who had inflatable shoes, but unfortunately she's popped her clogs. It's gone again. It's gone again now. Johnny wasn't, he's not even on the show. That's so funny. Right, so we've got these pieces here. I'm going to also take away, because we took the shoe down to there, I'm actually going to place this over the top. So that will go onto here. So you can see, and because it fits perfectly, you're going to get that 2-tone of boot. So let's bring in our piece of card that we were gluing onto, and we're going to use our dotty tape pen. So let's first of all do the shoe part. And this is great because you could do these in any colours that you want. You might know someone that loves black boots, or with gold trim, or, you know, white boots. Lots of white cowboy boots, isn't there, about? So you could make them white. So we're going to pop that on there. Then we're going to use our heel. So let's just pop this one. There we go. And that's going to go on the bottom. And the great thing is, even though it's a dotty tape pen, it's super sticky, which means it is gonna fit perfectly, but it's gonna stay stuck as well. So once we've got to that part, I am gonna turn that over and I'm gonna really burnish that down. And instead of rubbing, I'm just going one way to make sure I've really pushed those fibres of the card into the glue. Make sure that's really stuck. So that gives us that part, which looks cool, but when we then pop it onto here, we've then got a darker background, but I want this brighter. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my boot here, like so. And just while it's there, I haven't got a pencil at hand, so I'm just going to trim it. I'm going to actually trim this around a little bit more, just onto there. So just that middle section, like so. And then that way we've got our boots there, still need a little bit more. So just coming round here. And then that will fill, there we go, perfect. So this time I'm going to use the boot to put the actual tape onto. And then that will stick directly onto here. So that will tie in now with the red that's coming over to the top part, like so. Again, burnish that down. And then all we need to do, and all of these pieces you can then use again for another boot. We're just going to place that all on top. So let's bring in our tape pen to pop all that together. There we go. And that creates that nice dark part underneath, which is going to tie in with the heel of the boot. And that's how you get your different colours of your boot. So nice and easy. I'm thinking glitter boots. Can you imagine, like with our glitter cardstock, making glitter boots? Really good if you're doing like the girls or the bride's hen do, or the bride tribe, anything like that. Right, the next thing we want to do is also cut out some horseshoes. So from the same card, I did remember the name this time, Jamie. Yeah, I keep forgetting the name. Let's use our Gemini Mini as well, because we can trim some of these. So I just want to cut out some of the dark card and the craft card. So let's pop those there. Now what I love about these, and actually what you can do, I'm going to fold this card in half, because actually we've got a different colour, haven't we? So let me just trim that in half as well. I'm going to pop these through together. When you are cutting these, if you put two pieces of card, they will actually emboss the detail into there. Just going to go backwards and forwards, because you get this amazing embossed star through it. But what I also want to do is we're going to ink through it. So we're going to place that back in there. And then I am just going to use, let me grab my ink daubers. And we've got a Bordeaux quick drying ink as well. And we're just going to ink through those ones. So place that back in there. And then just give that a quick ink through the centre. So when you take that off, not only have you got the deboss, you've then got the little star and the little dots on there as well. I'll move it around there so you can see it a little bit clearer. There we go, perfect. Look at that. I mean, that's real detail, isn't it, that you can get into your die cuts. So we've got that one. And then I'd also, let me just grab a piece of kitchen towel just to wipe that ink, because I also want to do that again with the darker one. There we go. And we only need one of those. And again, I'm going to, well, I don't need to do, we're going to ink through that, so let's pop that through. Now, because this is darker cardstock, if you're going to ink through it, you need to use like a pigment-based ink that's opaque, which means it's layerable onto dark card. So we're going to place that back in, like so. And then I've just got my white, but you could use any colour. Mind you, that doesn't look very white. Oh, and I don't have a white dauber, do I? So I'm just going to use this purple one. Doesn't matter because the white will still come through. But what that will do, it will just show a little bit of a white star coming through. Now that'll take just a little bit longer to dry, but I'm not going to worry about that. So we're just going to pop that there, got that one as well. And then we just need to stick all our card together. Right, so we've got all our pieces that we need. We only need 2 of those because we're going to trim those and then we're going to stick these together. So the first thing I want to do is to get a sentiment. So we're going to grab our sentiments, and I've got my stamping platform. And I've also got that quick drying Bordeaux ink because it works really well with the colours that we've chosen. So we're just going to place that onto our board and then bring in our sentiments. So I thought because we're doing the cowboy boots, it's up to you what you put on. I mean, boots class Saz would go, but that's a little bit too big. Just a girl who loves horses, so I love that. So if you know someone that loves a horse, that would be absolutely perfect. I'm actually thinking I might use that one because Ben could use that for his daughter, couldn't he? But the one I've used on my main card is Forget the Glass Slippers. This princess wears cowboy boots. Now we're going to just pop that there, but I thought I'd use a different one just because we've got the different sentiments and it would look really cool. So I'm just tipping that up to check that I've got that straight. So it's just slightly off. That's better. So I'm just making sure we've got that completely straight, and then I'm going to use our Bordeaux ink pad. Jamie's suddenly gone French in my ear. So just stamping that down. We're going to give that another, just got a little bit missing there. Well, it's just because I haven't pressed it down enough. But we can stamp that, just, I mean, you can stamp it however many times you want with the stamping platform, get that precision. So there we go, just a girl who loves horses. So let's take that one off of there. And then we can now start to stick all our card together. So let's do our mats and layers. So first one is your craft card. I've lost my normal tape pen. It's hiding under a piece of card. Here we go. Typical, yes, absolutely. Whenever you want something, it's right in front of you, but always hiding under something. So I'm going to just place that one on. I'll just make sure that my card, do that way, it's the right way round. And then just mat and layer in all of those layers. And a really nice way to use your papers in a different way. So rather than use your background papers just to put your plain papers down, I love the fact that we can make these amazing waves and patterns in our card. So we're just going to place that like so. And then again, let's turn that one over and burnish that down. That will make sure they're all into there. And then I want to use some foam. So let's just place that one onto here. And we're just going to heighten this a little bit so it just gives a little bit more dimension. I mean, obviously, if you're posting through the mail, just keep this flat rather than putting your foam pads on there, and then it won't make it too bulky to go, oh, I thought I cut my finger then, it's a mink. I should have known I hadn't cut myself because I take blood thinners. I bleed quite heavily if I cut myself. Yeah, no, I try really hard not to, but look, it does look like I've cut myself on there, so but it's the ink pad. And then this one, we're going to slightly offset like that, however you want it to go. You can have it straight if you want it to, but I quite like the quirkiness of that. And then with our boot as well, we're going to pop some foam pads on there as well. So just put in a little bit there, and then we'll curl that round to the toe. And that's going to give us a little bit dimension. Like so. So didn't want it right on the toe, so I've left a little bit off the toe so I can literally put that, or actually I wanted to put it, no, we can pop that there. That's absolutely fine. There we go. And then these we're going to use to decorate. So I'm actually going to trim these. We're going to cut that one in half like so. And then we're going to use our dotted tape pen just to pop these into place. So I'm going to have one come in out of here like so. Just lift the boot up. That will be on there. And the reason I didn't do this first to make a background is I thought then because I wouldn't know where my placement would be. So this is quite nice just to do afterwards to fill the gap. And you wouldn't think you've just used you'd think you'd use more than one, where we've only actually used one to create there. And then we're going to have another one coming out there. So I just want that cut to here. And let's just again put our dots on this one, like so. And that's just going to go into here. And then it's just a case of putting them in wherever gaps that you want to. So I think I'm going to do one up there. And just a nice sort of gap filler then. So let's just, I want to do it so it comes to the edge of the card. Oh, peeled that one off with my finger there. There we go, just like so. And we'll leave it at that. But if you did want to use the other little bit, you absolutely could. If I turn that round, there we go. So you've got this one, which is just a girl who loves horses. And then if I just bring this one in, just for a different sentiment there, but both exactly the same way. And that one is forget the glass slippers. This princess wears cowboy boots. I absolutely love that. I'm just going to just check if you've got anybody else commenting. No, you're all with us this morning. So Julia's saying hello from Xmas, which she's already done. Wouldn't this boot look fabulous with gold paper piecing? Yes, I love that idea. Yeah, cutting them out of gold card and then paper piecing them in as well. So yeah, absolutely fine. Right, we have got to the end of the show. Such a gorgeous card. Need this collection now and to buy some cowboy boots. Yeah, we all need some cowboy boots, don't we? Absolutely. Right, we're coming now to the end of the show. I hope you've enjoyed this craft along. Do remember you can watch it back on any time on YouTube. And we will be back for Wake Up Call, where we're going to be previewing some of the amazing Katie Sue collections that they've brought to us today. And then we've got the Craft House at 2 o'clock. So do join us back. Ben will be in the building very soon and we will be crafting along with all things Katie Sue. So we hope to see you very soon. But don't go away. It literally is only an hour. Bye for now.